Hello students, in this video we will study about categories of unit cells. Unit cells are broadly classified into two types. One is primitive or simple cubic unit cell and second is centered unit cell. In primitive unit cell, constituent particles are only present at corners. In primitive or simple unit cell, constituent particles means atoms, ions or molecules are only present on corners. See the diagram of primitive unit cell. This is the diagram of primitive unit cell and it has 8 corners 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and this blank dot denotes atom, that is constituent particle. So in primitive unit cell there are 8 corners and atoms are present only on the corners. This is primitive unit cell. This one is primitive unit cell. Now coming to next, centered unit cell. In centered unit cell, atoms are present on other locations also. Centered unit cell is classified into 3 categories: body centered, face centered and end centered. So coming to body centered unit cell, also called BCC, body centered cubic unit cell. Body centered unit cell, constituent particles are present at the center of body. Since the center of body is 1, so there is 1 atom at the center of the body. In addition to this, constituent particles are also present on all the corners. There are 8 corners in a cube. So see the diagram of BCC unit cell. This is body centered unit cell. It has atoms on 8 corners 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 1 atom as denoted by the red circle here. It is the center of the body. So there are 8 atoms on 8 corners and 1 atom at the center of the body. So this is what BCC. Now next, coming to face centered. So it has atoms on all the corners as well as at the center of the each face. In cube, how many faces are total? 6 faces. So 6 atoms at the center of each face and 8 atoms on the 8 corners. So let us see the diagram. This is face centered unit cell. It has atoms on 8 corners as denoted by blue circles and 6 atoms at the center of each face. See this face, left face, right face. This is front face, this is back face. This one is top face and this is bottom face. So total 6 faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now next is end centered. End centered unit cell. It has atoms, that is constituent particles, at the center of any two opposite faces. Remember, not on all the faces, but it has atoms, that is constituent particles, at the center of any two opposite faces, as well as on all corners. See the diagram of end-centered. This is the diagram of end-centered unit cell. It has atoms on all the corners. See here, it has atoms on all the corners. 8 corners. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and on two opposite faces, that is alternate faces. See here, this face, its opposite is this face. So only on the center of the two faces, we can say end-centered has atoms on alternate faces. Alternate faces. So this is about the categories of the unit cell. Let us repeat again this. Unit cells broadly classified into two types: primitive or simple cubic, and centered. And centered is classified, categorized into body centered, that is BCC. F-centered is also called FCC unit cell, and end-centered unit cell also called ECC, end-centered unit cell. So this is about the classification of the unit cell, and this about their diagram. This one is primitive or simple, this is body centered, this is face centered, and this is end centered. Okay, thank you. Now you can take the screenshot of this page for further reference, and also the screenshot of this page. So thank you, students.